So yes, 10 things today. We're going to be looking at comic books that you may or may not have heard of that we really think deserve a movie treatment because let's face it, everybody wants to turn comic books into movies. We've got everything Marvel's doing and everything DC's doing or trying to do. We really don't know how it's going to work out just yet. But this is an interesting list. How'd you come up with your list?
I came up with my list by a bunch of comic books I feel story-wise fit. Most of them are either 2 to 3 run comics, or that are now like graphic novels. So that's how I came up with mine. One of them that it's not on my list, I wish was I guess my number 11 or 12 is.
This is only 10.
Yeah, it was Plastic Man, because I don't think DC will ever do Plastic Man because he's just too silly and fun, and no way you can make him Batman and dark.
Yeah. So let's kick it off with what's your number 10.
My number 10 is Deus Ex, not the video game.
I'm thinking the video game. Sorry.
Yeah, not the video game. This actually is about a superhero who actually becomes mayor of New York after stopping one of the planes from hitting the 2 towers. One of the towers still goes down. There's actually a giant monument for it in the comic, but he actually stopped one of the planes from hitting the tower. From that, he ends up running for mayor because he feels he can actually do a good job.
No logical step.
Right.
Hey, I saved the town. You owe it to me.
Well, there's a lot more to it. Later on, you find out why he really did choose to become a mayor and a bunch of other stuff. And it's really kind of complicated, but in the end, it actually is more about what happens when a hero stops being a hero, but still actually wanting to do good.
Like when they get retired in Earth X?
Yes. Right. But in this case, it's what happens if Superman actually ran for, like, the governor.
Would you vote for Superman? Because I don't think I would. He's way too good. You know he's got a dark side. Like, he probably twitches in his house and stuff. You know there's something wrong with Superman. No one is that good.
But you can't bribe him, at least that way.
I bet you could.
Probably.
Yeah, he puts some kryptonite around. Who's so powerful now? My number 9 is ElfQuest. Who doesn't remember ElfQuest? That was like the most epic comic book back in the day. And you want to talk, I mean, we're getting this age where we're getting the high fantasy ones. We did a fantastic job with Lord of the Rings for people like me who don't like to read. But
also TV series,
Game of Thrones. We've got all these great fantasy aspects. So why not say, hey, let's kick ElfQuest in the butt and let's really, I mean, that'd be so much fun, don't you think?
Yeah, and those who don't know what ElfQuest is, it actually pretty much is the title. A group of elves.
Going on a quest.
It's more about the monsters and the smaller creatures. And this comic actually, the black and white is kind of really gray. It's even some of the heroes
black
are
and white
total,
is gray, huh?
Well, yeah. It's not black, white, it's a lot of gray.
This is your art lesson for today on Fanservice. Black and white make gray.
Exactly.
All right, what do you have for your number 8?
Top 10. Now, I know this sounds weird, like, no,
we're doing a top 10 list.
Yes. This actually is a comic about a world of superheroes. It's literally like...
Isn't that like every other comic universe?
No. I mean, literally everyone on this one planet is a superhero. It's basically like the one planet in Green Lantern Corp where every planet...
Oa?
No, not the living planet.
Okay, I was about to say.
No, but it's literally a planet of superpowers. Like, everyone in the planet has a superpower, or they're galactic beings.
So that means, is Earth a super being too? Does he fly around the sun with a little cape on going,
No, not the planets are superpowers. It's a planet of people with superpowers.
Yeah, well, where'd they get it from? Mother Gaia.
Well, it's
the
actually...
original superpower.
There's a lot of it, but actually it's a procedural kind of cop show, comic book. It's about murders and things. It's what happens on a planet where everyone has superpowers and crime happens. And it's about those police officers. It's also about like real life scenarios. What happens in a world where the homeless exist and the homeless guy is bulletproof.
You want to be homeless in because obviously you go rob a bank.
Yeah,
all right.
From a teller who has the power to melt you with his vision.
Well, you're bulletproof. Come on. So my number 7 is Danger Girl. I love J. Scott Campbell. And when he created Danger Girl, I was sold. It's like Charlie's Angels, but with guns and kick-assness. And it's got the whole vibe. It's like Archer and James Bond and Charlie's Angels all in one.
It has a sense of humor to it. It's fun. The characters have actual real responses.
Yes.
Some of the villains are very
over the top great. I mean, it's everything you want in a super spy film with a bunch of chicks running around in it.
It would make a very interesting Charlie's Angels-esque movie. So.
It would, except, like I said, with guns, because you can't do a spy movie without guns. I don't care what you say.
Charlie's Angels had guns.
No, they didn't. In the movies, they didn't because they specifically went, oh, we're hippies. You can't have guns. We're going to, woohoo!
Karate chop.
Yeah, karate chop in the movies. The series, yes. Movies, no. But we're talking about movies right now.
Yes.
Which is your number 6?
My number 6 is Umbrella Academy, which is, again...
Not to be confused with Resident Evil Umbrella Academy, where people are learning to be bad guys and raise zombies. This is a completely different take.
Still bad guys, though. And involving music and involving what happens when you're a bad guy and you don't want to be a bad guy. And what happens if you're a bad guy and you're really way too into it?
Didn't they learn a lesson from Wreck-It Ralph?
Yes.
Obviously not.
They did. This comic book is really, really good. Its art is pretty. If you have a chance, any of these ones we're suggesting as movies, I really recommend some of these to go out and read. Umbrella Academy, I really, really recommend. It won a lot of awards.
Yes, because awards mean you must watch it.
Exactly.
Which goes to my number 5, Empire, which is a really kind of older comic, and it's where the bad guy won to take over the world. And it's about him trying to upkeep his empire with all these people trying to come up into it and his day-to-day drama. It's really, really good, but it had like 3 issues, and the dude stopped making it for some reason. I have no idea. It had a momentary research for like a month a couple years ago, and then boom, gone again. I like the idea of the bad guys winning, like in Wanted, which is not what we got in the Wanted movie. That movie was a POS. Exactly.
Read the original Wanted. There's a monster made of poop.
Yes, because that's why you want to read comics.
Monster made of poop!
No. The original comic was so much better, and I think Empire would actually fix that, and, you can't jack up Empire. The bad guy won.
Yeah, the bad guy, this is one of the few cases that the bad guy wins, and you get to find out what are ramifications of that.
So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is The Authority.
Which is awesome! They fly around in a dimensional ship and stop things from happening.
One of the good guy's powers is his strength, and everything about him increases by how big your population is.
Yeah.
And the Authority
China, you're screwed.
The Authority is really, really cool. It's what happens, a real-life mentality of a guy who's invulnerable and has the powers of a god. What would his mentality really be like, not Superman's?
It's awesome.
It's what happens when the good guys aren't as good as they should be.
Which goes to my number 3. Are we on 3 or 4? Yeah, we're on 3. Yeah, I haven't listened. I still can't figure this counting thing out. My number 3 is The Darkness. I flipping love The Darkness and Witchblade and Fathom. We have all that. There's rumors that there's a Darkness thing in the works, but it's never gone anywhere. I think the idea of the hitman who comes of age and gets his inherited power of the darkness that, because he's a womanizer and you can't have sex anymore because if you pass it on, you die instantly. So, yeah, it's quite interesting. Mob hitman, power, shadows, and darkness. The video game didn't do it justice. The comic book rocks. I think it'd be really fun to go down that dark Spawn-ish valley without the crappy Spawn movie that we got because that movie sucked.
And the Witchblade series wasn't very good.
Yeah, the Witchblade series wasn't very good because it really wasn't Witchblade. I didn't like the anime series either because they didn't do a good job of that because I want to see Sarah Panzini. Sorry. So Darkness, I think would be awesome. I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch dark minions instead of the happy yellow banana minions everyone's used to. I want to see minions that can eat you like a Ripper Swarm.
There you go.
That's what So what's your number 2?
My number 2 is J. Michael Straczynski's The Rising Star.
That gets 2 thumbs up for me because that was an awesome comic book.
The story is everyone in this small town who was pre-puberty gets hit with a meteorite. A meteorite crashes into a town, and everyone pre-puberty gets
It's
powers.
basically Chronicle, but much better.
And everyone in this town, everyone pre-puberty gets superpowers, including anyone who was in the womb. So
that must suck when you're walking around pregnant, all of a sudden you got a superhero going, hey!
Well, thing is,
flying right out when it's born. Oh, I don't know how that happened.
With the Wolverine sperm.
He's got a placenta cape. So I'm done.
Okay. But it's actually also a murder mystery series.
Yeah.
Someone starts killing them off. Also, some of the powers aren't really nice to the user. Some of the users actually start having real issues. As an example, the one who's like Superman, who's invulnerable and has super strength, can't do anything in life. Because he can't feel anything, and he also has super strength. So he becomes fat, he becomes lazy, and he becomes an overnight security guard. By the way, kind of a little spoiler, he's the first one to die.
We should put spoilers up on screen time you say
spoilers.
All right, so that leads us to our number 1, which it's the one comic
really.
I am obsessed with. I have met the creator behind it. I've done all the things, and it is coming back. But I want to see Battle Chasers be turned into a movie. If you think ElfQuest would be awesome, Battle effing Chasers, because I can't cuss on TV. Battle Chasers. It's about a small group of heroes, and that's about as far as they got in the comic book. Is you get introduced to the heroes. Dude stopped making it. It disappeared for years. He wouldn't answer any questions about it because it's the number one thing he would be asked at conventions. And now he's finally said, we're bringing Battle Chasers back. We're going to redesign it. We're going to do a mobile game. For some reason, everyone wants to do mobile games. And hopefully, they will evolve it into a movie because I think this is definitely a comic book that needs a budget. You've got a giant steampunk robot, magicians, little girls with gloves that are awesome, warriors that are cursed. You've got
a high kingdom that is trying to take over
high
everything.
Fantasy. I mean, it is everything you'd want to see in a movie and just have the best time with. So Battle Chasers is what I agree with.
Battle Chasers.
Battle Chasers. Battle effing Chasers.
Or the Authority or Rising Star, or any of these.
No, screw you. Your choices don't count. Mine count because I got number 1 at Battle Chasers. That has been this week's 10 Things list. He's all pissy. Fine, you would pee on my Cheerios. I'll pee on your pizza. Good thing I don't eat pizza today. That has been our 10 Things list this week. If there's an idea you want to see, you can tweet us at FBTVStone or send us a message. I really don't know what it's supposed to be Pocky D, but we just discovered Pocky D apparently isn't his Twitter name. So if you're tweeting it, some random person's getting it going, who the hell is this? Send us your ideas for 10 Things list. We'll put them up on the show. You see it every week.